that we are going to generate our XML file that we are going to input in the systematic review accelerator. So after generating your search string, that will give you the result that is related to whatever it is that you are working on. For example, this place I'm working on computer-aided microscopy for diagnosing Mycobacterium tuberculosis and Plasmodium, that's malaria, Plasmodium species. So now this, I've inputted my search string here to give me just 1,256 results. So if I want to generate the file now, I will have to so you come here first, you click this send to, then you will see something like all results on this page and all results. If you click this all results on this page, it will only give you, it will only generate file that will direct you to only this, only the result on this page. But if you click this all results, it will generate a file that will direct you to all the results. That is this 1,256 results. So now after that, you will click this create file to generate it. Then it will automatically download to your laptop. So now we are going to open our systematic review accelerator. Williams, are you guys still there?
Yeah,
we are here. We are following you.
You are doing well. Well done.
So this is systematic review accelerator. Let's do it. So now when you get here, the first thing you do is to log in, because this is a website that requires you to have your own account so you can work on your own research. Even if it is a systematic review that involves group of people, so you have to open an account that helps you to like differentiate your work from other users on the website. So you click this login, then you input your email and password. I've already registered before, that's why I have my email and password here automatically. I saved it the last time I logged in. So if you don't have an account, you create an account, then you save your password. After that, you click the login. So now I've logged into my account here. So now we have various tools here, but we've only been exposed to quite few of them. So now you have your own library too that you can improve your work. So I click this library. So if you notice, I have other libraries here because I've done some work here before. But if you want to add a new file now, you will click this import new. You click this place, then it will bring you to this web page. So you click select file. You can create a name for it. Let's say, for example, malaria and TB. Then you click select file. So you come to your downloads now. I have the file you generated from the PubMed. You will click on it. then you click open. So after clicking open, you click upload. So because the files, they are the same with the ones I did there, I think that's why it's giving me this 1 and 2, because I've already imported this particular file before. That's why it's giving me this and this. So after doing that, because we generated the file from PubMed, so it's possible for you to have duplicates. Before you start your work, it's better for you to sort the files out, to differentiate, to remove the duplicates, and to check if they are actually duplicates before you go on to start screening for the one to include and exclude your work. So the first thing you do is you come to the deduplicator to remove duplicates. So now we are here. So you see that same file you generated from the PubMed that you are going to use. So you will just click it here, then you click open. So click upload. So now, oh, I think something is wrong. Something is wrong. Let's come back here. So how do I know something is wrong? If you notice, it is showing only 10 results. This non-duplicates here is showing only 10. Likely duplicate 0, 0, 0. But I am supposed to have at least, 1,256 results. That means the file I generated earlier is only for this first page, which is just 10 results. So that's why I had to re-download it. So now, if I should load this new oh God. So this is the last one I generated, 6 MB. So open.
Yes.
So let's upload this now. So now this one is giving us the correct results. So the difference now is that if you don't change your option here, If you don't change your option here from, most times it will show you this. So if you don't change this to all results, it only generates results relating to the first page. So that's why initially we're having just 10 results. But now that we've done the right thing now, it is giving us the correct results.
Okay.
So now we have non-duplicates, which is 1,254, and we have 2 likely duplicates. So you will check if they are actually duplicates now. So you click that likely duplicate, then you scroll to check. So now let's check the title. The title is showing BBQ methods, streamlined workflow for bacterial body quantification in infected cells by confocal microscope. So now, merely looking at the title now, it is actually the same title. If you check the authors, it is showing the same author. And if you check the DOI, it is showing different DOI. But
okay.
it is still duplicate. So we will just keep one and discard one, and it has already done that for us. But in some case, you can decide to keep both of them by checking it here and changing it from keep to discard. So you can either keep both of them, you can keep only one of them rather. So if you keep this, it will discard this. If you keep this, it will discard this. If you discard this, it will keep that.
You want to look now?
So after you are done, you will save the file that have been thoroughly checked by the deduplicator. Now we are very certain that this work, there are no duplicates. So now this is the file. By clicking this file here, you will see different options: load, save, import reference, export, and close. So you click this save button here, then it will automatically generate your deduplicator file, which is this. After doing that, you move to your scanner tool. So this is where you are going to screen for the ones that meet your requirements, your inclusion and exclusion requirements. So now I've done that already, and
well done.
yeah, okay, sir. So you click this load here. So I'm going to load the file that I've already run the duplicator check. I have to press. So I've already opened this page, but it's not going back to the initial web page that it will ask me to load the file. So
when you click on the file,
yes,
there is option of import references.
okay.
Yeah, so if you click on that one, then you select the duplicated file that you've saved to your system.
Okay.
So now it is loading.
Okay. This is the web page for screening. So what we are basically doing here is we want to differentiate the articles that meet our inclusion criteria and the ones that meet our exclusion criteria. So for example now, let me click on this include. So no, before I do that, we have undecided, we have all references, we have exclude and include. So if we should add our include and excluded articles, it will give us all references. So this undecided is when you've not either included the article or excluded it. So it will appear here. For now, I'm done with both including and excluding. That's why the undecided is 0. So for example, if we check this include now, this include, you will check the title and the abstract to check if the article is related to what you are working on and meets your inclusion criteria. So everything here in this include, they have met the inclusion criteria. For example, now if I should check this, microscopic examination commonly used for malaria diagnosis, however, lack of well-trained microscopy in endemic area. So if you check this now, there is automated system based on machine learning to help in reducing the effect of lack of well-trained microscopists. So that's basically relating to what we are working on. We are working on the use of AI-assisted microscopy in diagnosing malaria. So this particular article have met our inclusion criteria. So basically everything here have met the inclusion criteria. So if we check this exclude now, for example, we have malaria diagnosis for malaria elimination. So if you check this, it's talking about nucleic acid test. That's the normal nucleic acid amplification tests. There's a name they usually call it. What do they call it? For diagnosing tuberculosis. Yes. So this is another test that is different from microscopy. But here we are mainly working on AI-assisted microscopy. So any other thing relating to microscopy, but it is not AI-assisted, we are not interested. So that's why I excluded this. If you check all the articles in this excluded, they are not relating to what we are working on. So thank you, sir. Sir?
All right, thank you. Thank you.
Okay, sir.
Just to add to what you've said already. So there is all references which contains the number of initially when you've not even started the screening. That all references will contain the total number of the articles you have to screen. So anyone that you have screened, when you include it, it will go into the number will go into the include box. Anyone that you exclude, that one will go into the exclude box. And then for the undecided, once if you Bankole, if you take your cursor to the all references, yeah, select that one. So it has not loaded.
No, it has loaded now.
Okay, so you've screened everything.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Let's just use one of these excluded one, the top excluded option, the one that says malaria diagnosis for malaria elimination.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you click on the drop down button under the exclude, yeah. So there is option of undecided.
Okay.
So if maybe after reading the title and you are not yet sure whether you want to include or exclude this particular article. Remember, from the beginning, I said the least number of persons that can do systematic review are 3 people. And the reason is that when there are issues with agreeing on anything, the third person comes in to resolve that issue. So when you are not sure of a particular article, you don't know whether you should include it or exclude it. And trust me, this happens when you start doing systematic reviews. So when you are not very sure, you can select the undecided button and it will move that article to that undecided, meaning that either you come back later and then try and make a decision, or if at the end of the day you feel you are not sure whether this should be included or excluded, then the second reviewer, if they feel the same, or maybe if they feel it should be included or should not be included, and there is a disagreement between the first reviewer and the second reviewer, then the third reviewer can now look at those undecided articles and then make decisions regarding them, whether they should be included or excluded. So I think that's the essence of that option there. So it's just something that gives you time to come back and deal with this thing later and move on with other ones. Having said that, so now we are done with the. Have you done the abstract screening as well, or just the title in this your particular work?
Yes, now we do check both the title and the abstract.
How did you do it? Were you screening both the title and the abstract at the same time?
Yes.
Okay, so that would take more time. The process, if we are following the protocol, like the guideline,
Okay.
the title screening should be completed first. So when you've done with the title screening, then you can now. But these things, like I said, they are guidelines. They are just there to guide us on how to do it. They are not like fixed rules. There
Okay.
is no rule. It doesn't mean that because you've done both at the same time, it doesn't mean that uh, you've done anything bad. But
Okay.
if when we are reporting, we are not going to say we screened both of them at the same time. We just follow the guideline. I said that we did both the title and the abstract reason. And the reason why the guideline expects you to do the title reading first is that in your flow chart, you will have where you will record the number of articles that passed your title screening and the number that passed your abstract screening. But because you've done it this way, if you want to report it now, what you will do is that you will just report the number that passed after you've done the title and abstract screening. I don't know if you're getting my point. So
Yes.
our flowcharts now will be a bit different from what we have in the guideline, but it doesn't mean that it is wrong. You are still
Okay.
okay. You are still in track, but just reporting it, you will be like after initial abstract title and abstract screening, 124 articles were included or were selected for full text reading, while 1,131 articles were excluded due to not meeting the eligibility criteria. You get? But if I did the initial title screening, I would just say after title screening, let me say 1,050, 1,257 were excluded, while this number were included for abstract screening. After abstract screening, 124 were included, why this number were excluded, just the data that we are going to get to put in the flowchart. The first one just broke it down and gave us the details of what happened in the title screening and abstract. What happened in the title screening first, and then came down and told us the number of articles that passed the what the first this thing I explained gave the number that passed the title screening, and then came down to give us the number of articles that passed the abstract screening. But with what you've done, we just have the number that passed after we've done both the title and the abstract screening together. As long as both the first reviewer and second reviewer agreed or arrived at the same number, we are fine. Because the whole aim of systematic review is to reduce bias. Normally, there is no way you can completely eliminate bias to 0% in any research work. That's why most times alphas are set to 0.05. So that's why you usually have confidence interval of 95%, because you are expecting that there is a 5% chance that there is a mistake. I don't know if you are getting the point. So the whole point is to eliminate bias, but we are not, even with the whole step being employed to eliminate this bias, there is no 100% chance that we are going to totally eliminate the bias by 100%. But having said that, you shouldn't now rely and say, oh, I know that there is no way I will completely eliminate bias, so let me just allow the mistakes. No. So the second reviewer and the first reviewer should agree on the same things. So all these 124 articles in your included study, I should expect that the second reviewer will have that same number and same articles. So if there is, for any reason, there are discrepancies in these, that's where those ones will be in the undecided, and that's where the third reviewer comes in. And if I'm being honest with you guys, what I've just explained now is the ideal gas situation. I don't know, all three of us here are science students now. I don't know if you can still remember what they said about ideal gas in chemistry.
I did that.
But
Is it the question?
yeah,
Is it the question?
no, like there is a popular saying about ideal gas.
I don't the question.
No, I'm not talking about the equation. Okay, the ideal gases, are they different from real gases?
I think they are different.
So, if they give you the properties of oxygen as an ideal gas, when you measure it against the actual real oxygen, you will get different values. Because ideal gases are not real. So they are called ideal gases because this is what they expect it to be in an ideal situation where temperature or like there are constant. Yeah. So the real gases can't give you those values because there are other variables or co-founding variables altering those values it was supposed to give you. So what I'm saying in earnest is we are expected to follow this procedure of the first reviewer and the second reviewer screening and having the same number, the same article, if not the third. But in real life, I don't think anybody does that. If I'm just being honest, I don't know for others, but I know most of the reviews I've done. Yeah. So because by the time you don't even have that time, like who have the time to that means you spend like 2 months on screening for the first reviewer and the second reviewer to agree on the same agree on including the same articles, and then third reviewer coming to checkmate two of them and sorting out any issues or disagreements in their finding. So, but I just have to teach you that because that is the expectation. And when you are writing, you write it in the sense that this is what was done. If not, no publisher will agree to publish that. So, but in earnest, only you and God know. Finally, saying only one person screened this work.
Well, that's all of us do this one. Though.
I get. So,
Okay. It was me and you that screen now.
That screen, yes.
Yeah,
Did you
we
guys
followed the
screen
ideal,
it? Did you guys screen
answer.
it?
Sir?
Did you guys screen it separately?
Yes, now.
So William screened all the whole 1,000 and something articles, and
he did some. I did some. Then I
He
now
did half.
checked the ones he included.
So that one is different from what the ideal situation is. That this situation is that if the total all references are 1,255, you will do the title screening for the whole 1,255 separately on your own.
Okay.
The William will do his own on his own, and then two of you should arrive at the same numbers of included and excluded. Sorry?
No, I said that will take 2 years. If you are to do it like that.
Exactly. So that's what I was trying to explain. That is the ideal situation. Just so that when you are reporting it, because if you don't know this, when you are reporting, you may say, the first reviewer screened half of the work, and the second reviewer screened half of the work, and no publisher will accept that thing. So, you should know what the right thing to do is. And only you and God know how you take run and last.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that we are done with the title and abstract screening, the next stage is to now do the full text screening. So in the full text screening now, we'll go to the included studies. That means you are going to read 124 articles, they are full text. This is another work. So if you click on the included study, okay, so let's start with one. I think if you click on the abstract, there is a link to take you to the article. So just select one article, maybe this one that says reducing data dimension boosts neural, blah, blah, blah. Anyone, just select any article. If you go down, just go down. I think, this one doesn't have any link. Okay, I was thinking there was a link to the actual article in their website. But if not, just copy the title and go to PubMed.
Okay. Maybe allowing me to copy it.
Wait, click on the show abstract again. There should be a link. Yeah, that's the DOI. Does it have? Is it linked?
No, it's not linked.
Can you? Okay, but just copy the title. So let's get the article from PubMed.
So wait, is this what we'll do for all the 120 something articles?
Yes,
Wow.
that's why it is called full text reading.
Okay.
So now we are not just reading the title and the abstract, we want to read the whole work.
Okay.
Imagine sitting down to read 124 articles.
Mm-hmm.
How many years will that one take?
It will take. As
Okay,
well.
sure it is. Which one is it? The first one, ba?
The first one. It showed me this
Patient
one.
level. Yeah, it is the first article.
Okay.
Yeah. So click on it. Do we have the full article here?
Yes, so I think this is everything.
Okay, so do you know how to? I don't even know. I shouldn't even be saying this thing loud. Do you know how to steal articles?
Yeah, Sci-Hub.
Good.
Yes, I know how to steal that.
So now we need to steal this one.
They're not going to read this. They're not going to watch this video. Can't catch us. So say they
This
steal
is
article.
professional stealing. So
Okay.
So,
But
do you know?
some articles cannot actually be downloaded from Sci-Hub. Some are
Yeah,
locked.
yeah. Some are well protected by the publishers. That when we try it, those ones, the author don't swear say person no go read an article for free.
child, go paste the thing no go show.
I swear that thing they pain me. Yeah.
So, but how can we now get the article? We have to pay for it.
Yeah, if you can't get it from outside, you have to pay for it.
Oh, wow.
Except maybe you have login details with some institutions that are paying to have access to the articles. So with those login details, you can actually download them.
Download them. Okay.
So that means you are still paying because the institution is paying
It's
for you
paying.
to have that access.
Yeah. So, but I want to ask,
Yeah.
this one now we are doing is on PubMed. Are we still going to replicate it in Google Scholar, Crane, and some other databases, or does this cover for?
The search we did was just for PubMed. So before we even get to this point of importing them into the systematic review accelerator, we should have done all the whole other database searches. That is PubMed, Sci-Hub, what am I even saying? PsycInfo, Science Direct, Ovid, Embase, whatever. When we are done, and for each of the database that we search, we will save the articles that we find there, just the way we did on PubMed. Although for every other database, they have their own method, but the basic idea is just once you've done the final search, just look for somewhere you can download or save the citations, because they are called citations. Once you find anywhere on the website where you can save the citations that is on your page, try and find a way. So for some databases now, they will give you hard work. For example, we had 1,000 and something on PubMed.
Yes.
So for instance, let's say in Science Direct will not allow you to download 1,000 and something citations at once. So you can only download or save those citation page by page. And
Okay.
I think the maximum a page can have is about 50 or 100. That means you will save like about let's say 100, 1000 something divided by 100. That's the number of time you have to save. And also remember to click on next page, blah blah blah. But that was one of my nightmares. Although I just learned of recently that those who are good with programming, they can actually use Python and somehow save everything at once rather than breaking it down. I never learned programming now. So when you are now done with saving all those citations from the different database, when you go to systematic review accelerator, the point where we were importing the references. So that's the essence of that part, because what we are trying to do is to import all of them for all of them to be in one file. So we'll import all of them in one file in systematic review accelerator. So after importing them in one file, you will now download that single file containing everything. Then now go to the duplicator and now remove the duplicates there. After removing the duplicates, you now download the ones that you've deduplicated before going to Screen Atom. So that will save you from, because if you want to do all of them one after the other, that means at the end of the day, you've not achieved anything, because some of the articles you got from PubMed, you are still going to find some of them in Cochrane. You are still going to find some of them in Science Direct. So that means your deduplication was of no good, because at the end of the day, you did not remove any duplicate. The only duplicate you removed was duplicate within the database itself. But the main essence of the deduplication is to remove different articles that you've gotten from different databases that are the same. Okay. Any other question?
Yeah, so for this our work currently now, are we going to do all those, or should we just proceed with PubMed alone?
Since we have a high number now, like 124, we can just proceed with this one. But like I said, the ideal situation is that you will redo all these things. Me, myself, I've done this thing away, right in my method that I screened all these databases, but actually it was only PubMed I went through.
It's all right. Okay, so the goal is assuming we didn't get enough article in PubMed, that means we now have to go and look in other databases, right? So, but since we have a good number here, we can proceed with it.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
But like I said, the best thing, the ideal thing is to do everything together.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So now what are we doing next? We are reading everything.
So you already have 124 articles to screen. So for me, this just me personally, somebody that likes following things by the book, we want to do everything. But me, I no get that strength again. So if I'm the one doing it, I will just proceed with the 124. But if you have the strength, if you want to meet the actual authenticity and the rigor needed, you would want to do everything.
Okay.
So in this full text reading now, basically what I do is I'll have a quick read of the background, and then my major interest is the method. In the background, I'm just looking for the the objective of the study, which is usually around the last paragraph. Can we see the last paragraph of the background?
I think it's starting
No,
from here.
I think it's on the up on the is it right or left side? Yeah. This application include an image acquisition model, a parasite detection model that can detect malaria parasite by analyzing the FOVs of microscopy and data management model that saves on the study reports the performance of semi-automated mobile system during a field evaluation in Sudan. So Bankole, does this objective meet what you are looking for?
Huh?
Does this objective meet what you are looking for?
Mm,
You can have a quick read and just check.
yes, yes, it meets it. It meets it because it is actually semi-automated as they say, but still it is not manual. So it meets it.
And in your, if I remember, you mentioned you will be including semi-automated.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So now, we check the method. Remember, what we are doing is we are trying to find a reason to eliminate this work by trying to find any of the exclusion criteria that are included here. So just for everybody to understand it, can you open your protocol and just go down to the eligibility criteria?
Okay. Oh, this thing.
So why I focus more on the method is that the method section of every research article explains how the work was done.
I'm
So
trying
that's
to minimize.
okay. So that's where the actual inclusion and exclusion criteria of the studies are, and where you will learn on how the study was designed.
This thing is not allowing me to minimize. Okay, okay.
The way I see the method section of any research work, I see it as a recipe that tries to teach other people, other researchers, how they can carry out the work if they want to replicate the study.
I sent it to you.
Okay. Uh, instead of, because I'm using my phone, if you just open the eligibility criteria, Yeah. If you scroll down to
I'm here to do the corrections.
I understand.
Okay, yeah, this is it.
Okay. So we are including patients of any age
Yes.
in any location. Then our main focus is the exclusion. Uh, we are excluding any studies not involving people or clinical samples of malaria. So if we go back to that method, you can download the article because you will need it to.
Yeah, I've
Because from
downloaded it. This
okay,
PDF reader already. I've downloaded it.
okay. So it says the performance evaluation was conducted during a case control study organized by FIND. They must have explained that one somewhere else. Global Alliance for Diagnosis, with the help of Institute of Endemic Diseases, University of whatever, Sudan, to evaluate the malaria screener software developed by the National Library of Medicine at the National Institute of Health. Patients were recruited at two primary hospitals in Sudan, one in the patients were so already you know that they are dealing with humans.
Yes.
Uh, the sample size calculation was performed. Okay, let's go back to the eligibility criteria. So we are not eliminating this one because based on that
Of the
population.
population,
So,
yes.
mhm. So for the population, they've ticked our checklist.
So the interventions, yes.
Now, for the intervention, we are going to exclude studies that employ manual microscopy exclusively without any AI or automated image analysis component for comparison. So now that one is on semi-automated.
Yes.
Let's see what we have on our inclusion. Studies employing AI or machine learning algorithm to interpret microscopy pictures of blood smears. Digital microscopy system that included automated image processing or computer assisted detection of diagnosis. Studies testing the diagnosis any setting including laboratory. Okay, can we go down again? AI method apply on non
Microscopic
microscopy
diagnostic
diagnostics
tools.
too.
No.
Studies concentrating primarily on algorithm development without testing on clinical sample. So the one we have is testing on clinical samples.
Yes.
Stimulated data sets or in silico model without patient-derived samples. We have a patient-derived sample.
Yes.
And the study is not, it doesn't meet that second exclusion.
The exclusion.
No, I mean, it does not meet the second exclusion. The second
Exclusion.
information.
Give
So
me
the study is not an AI method that was applied on non-microscopic diagnostics too.
Yes, that's correct.
Mhm. But now, one thing here is, let's go back to the inclusion criteria for this intervention.
This is the inclusion criteria.
It says digital microscopy system that include automated image processing or computer-assisted detection of diagnosis. But this one is semi-automated. So let's go back to the work. I want to.
It's actually
So it says our approach is to fully automate microscopic examination, which typically involve building a hardware device that can streamline the process from the imaging step to the final diagnosis. So this is not just semi-automated now.
yes
It
now,
says
but
fully.
is this their final statement that is confusing?
The
They
study
said,
reports the performance of a semi-automated. The study
but actually the other,
reports the performance. Okay, let's see what. Let's just the method will tell us the actual thing they did. The performance evaluation was conducted during this blah blah blah. Sample size, okay. Patients were enrolled. This one is just telling us about the patient and their age and whatever. So age is not we are not excluding anything based on age. Patients with symptoms and signs of severe disease, such as okay, these ones were excluded as those who received anti-malaria. So okay, scroll down. Fingerprint blood sample were collected. Manual light microscopy. Light microscopy was performed for malaria diagnosis, species identification, and parasite counting.
this place
The
is just
slide where
explaining
okay.
manual light microscopy.
Yeah, I know.
So I think this table actually,
Blood film. GS. So the sites are like the different places they did the setting.
yes.
All sample analyzed by microscopists on site. Image data gathered from malaria. All sample analyzed on site. Okay. All sample verified by and PCR post study. What happened in GS site and what happened in the GS site and SOR site?
No, I think they
Can
are
you
just
scroll up?
combining two different sites to get the, so that they can,
Yeah, but
have
in each of
variety.
those sites, now something must have happened there. Maybe one of the sites used light microscopy and the other site used the intervention.
They
Right.
both used the screener for the analysis. So at the end there, they combine the two results. So that's why they have 190 results. And if you add the two now, you get 190.
Is there any place that they explained the GS site and because it will be there in the
So
method?
this is the blood film examination using malaria screener. So now this is the automated. So
Slides from the GS site were used to fine tune
no,
the
sir, start from
system
this side.
parameter.
Sir, Mr. Victor,
Wait,
start from this
can you?
malaria screener assisted.
Okay, blood film examination using malaria screen. Malaria screener assisted microscopy requires mounting a smartphone onto the eyepiece. Okay, each site was equipped with a Samsung Galaxy A10. Okay,
So it's actually
can you?
computer aided.
Yeah, okay. And yeah, malaria screener was downloaded from Google Play Store. These two actions were repeated until okay the white blood cell threshold was met. Then app displayed. Okay, more details regarding before the study, a training section was provided to the microscopists to teach them how to use the app. A user manual was also provided. A slide from GS site was used to fine-tune the system parameter. Fine-tuning mainly consists of analyzing the receiver operating characteristics to find a confidence threshold leading to the highest patient level accuracy. Then malaria screener was tested on SOR site. Okay, can you scroll down, please? However, the results for PVVX sample were excluded because the algorithm in malaria screener was only ready to be used for
Of
uh,
P falciparum.
Plasmodium falciparum malaria.
Is
If you
this
go
is
back to
this
that,
okay?
flow chart, so they recruited 190 patients based on routine microscopy,
Okay.
right? So I'm assuming that this routine microscopy is the light microscopy, right?
Yes, yes, yes,
Then among these 190, uh, there are two different sites, the GS site and the SOR site, each
yes,
of them having 95 patients.
yes,
Then in all these sites, all the samples were analyzed by a microscopist on site.
yes,
But on GS site, image data gathered for malaria screener calibration, P falciparum and negative sample analyzed by malaria screener. So these are two different things that happened in this site that I'm trying to get my head around.
wait, I'm coming. Let's forget this side. We're trying to we used to find this before okay, I think they did two different things. So I think the first one was to check for the efficiency of the machine.
The calibration.
Yes, to calibrate it. So that's
Okay.
what they did in the first site, according to what they write here.
So
First
they
slide
did
from
the
GS site.
calibration in the GS site,
So now they now
but
did the test in the SOR site.
okay.
Yes.
Okay. Then if you go down on the flow chart, next all the samples were now verified by microscopists and PCR was performed at the university. Okay. Post-study examination, PVF net tested on all GS and SOR sites. So maybe something happened to one of the samples,
Okay. Misdetected.
except one mixed in.
Okay,
So
that one
one of
was
the
infected with Plasmodium vivax, and that one is not
uh,
the constitutive agent of malaria, but it's a
yeah,
different
so it
species.
was excluded. Okay.
Okay. So, but now we can conclude that it was automated.
Yeah, so now we can conclude that it is automated. So we are including, based on the intervention, we are going to
Okay.
include this study.
Okay.
So let's see the other eligibility criteria. So the full text reading sometimes can be hard work because you will need to read the study to understand it to make your
Very well.
decision. So this one is for the
Cool.
is this for the outcomes?
So this is for the comparators.
For the comparator, okay. So what are our exclusion criteria? Me, I try to focus more on the exclusion because like I said, I'm looking for reasons to eliminate you. So if you don't give me reasons to eliminate you, then I will check whether you meet my reasons for exclusion. Because why I do it that way, for example, if we first of all start checking all the inclusion criteria, even if this study meets all these inclusion criteria and only have one reason for exclusion, we are going to
Okay.
exclude it. But if it doesn't meet any of the exclusion criteria,
Yeah.
but only meets one of the inclusion criteria, we are going to include it. Giving an example with the intervention that we just did, if you go back to that intervention, let me just explain that one. So if you check the what we did now, we've gone through these reasons for exclusion based on intervention, and the study did not meet any of our exclusion criteria. But then if you check our reasons for inclusion, the only thing it met is that is this the first and the second.
Yes.
No, it didn't even meet the first one
Yes.
because
Yes. Yes. It was the second
wait,
one it's met.
it was the second one, the digital microscopy system that include automated image processing or computer assisted. Did they mention that it was AI?
No, it was not AI. It was just automated image processing.
But I think somewhere I also saw that they were trying to develop an algorithm.
Yes, they used algorithm. Well, I think it's relating to. They mentioned something
So
like
so
machine learning. Wait, let me go back first.
yeah,
Mentions- Okay, at this part,
yeah,
guys.
uh,
So they
an
said an
automated
automated digital microscope coupled with computer vision and machine learning
uh,
algorithm.
exact good. Okay, let's go back to that uh eligibility criteria. So now it meets the first inclusion criteria because it's employed a learning algorithm that wants to interpret microscopy picture of blood smear for malaria, even though it is not a sputum smear.
But the thing is
We are because we are still including it
that,
because it says or. Can you hear me?
sir, the research is on both malaria and tuberculosis.
I know. What
Okay,
I'm
sir.
just explaining for like people who are not here when they are watching.
Okay, sir.
Because some persons may be like the criteria says malaria or sputum, so it is either one, either malaria or sputum or even both. So and also it meets the second inclusion criteria, which says that digital microscopy system can include automated image processing or computer assisted detection. So the third inclusion criteria says study testing the diagnostic performance or clinical value of AI enhanced microscopy. So it doesn't even meet this third one because it is not an AI enhanced microscopy.
Yes.
There is a difference between uh, machine learning algorithm and AI. Algorithm are more like a way of giving computer a task or certain instructions so that things can be carried out in a particular way. So it's more like finding a shortcut. For example, if you want to, for example, the major places they use a algorithm are sorting things from my basic knowledge of algorithm. So, for example, you usually have two, maybe different list of things. You may have the sorted list and the unsorted list. Let's, for instance, say you want to search your name in a class list. So a sorted list will be a class list that is arranged in alphabetical order, or maybe that have numbers, serial numbers that are sorted from 0 to 10. That's a sorted list. An unsorted list is the one that is not even sorted, that are random. So there is no way of arranging it either by alphabetical or numerical order. So you use algorithms to try and give specific tasks. For example, okay, you want to search for someone's name. When you develop an algorithm, which is machine learning, which is programming, it helps you to be able to find a way, a shortcut to get that name in the least possible time. So there are different algorithms, so different ways of doing this thing, but most of them will be looking for the best way to do it. So one method that I know of is the linear search, whereby what the algorithm does is to look on the class list and start searching for the linear list. Linear searches are mainly for sorted list. So when the class list is arranged alphabetically, let's say the person name you are searching for is Chukwebuka, and the first name in the list is Aboy. So it will start from A. Once you check the first name, if it is not Chukwebuka, it will move down to the next one. It will keep on going through the list until it finds Chukwebuka, and then it pulls out the name. That will terminate the whole task, and that means it have carried out the task that was given. But the problem with this one is that imagine that you have a class of 1 million people, and the name you are searching is my surname, Owakwe, which is the last on the list. That means it will take time to go through this whole 1 million names before getting down to finding me. You have what we call the binary algorithm. I don't even know why I'm going this far, but I just want people to understand this. You have the binary algorithm, whereby what it will do is it will, in a sorted list, it will divide the list into two, find the middle, and then let's say you are looking for Chukwebuka, then maybe somewhere in the middle you have a surname that starts with G, maybe Wawa or something like that. So on that G, it will check Chukwebuka, is it before or after G? In this case, C is before G. That means everything below the G, it will ignore them. It's not going to look at them again. It will go back from the G upward and look for the middle name and check whether it is below or under. So, in essence, what I'm trying to say is there is a difference between AI and machine learning and algorithm. Algorithm are just ways of giving. So, for instance, now in that particular article we are reading, the algorithm that have been created, or maybe they are trying to develop, is something that can find a way of sorting out, okay, looking at this smell, this particular smell contains Plasmodium falciparum or Plasmodium ovare. So the algorithm will help with sorting out those ones. But AI is more advanced. AI can
Yeah.
do more than just algorithm. Okay, so it doesn't meet the third inclusion criteria, because this is not an AI enhanced microscopy. But even at that, we are still going to include it because it already have met the first two. And then it meets the third one, which says any setting, including laboratory, clinical, or field-based deployment. So in essence, what I'm saying is a study may not meet all your included criteria, or a study may not meet all your included criteria, but as long as it doesn't meet any of the exclusion criteria, you will include it. But even if it meets all the included criteria and only meets one exclusion criteria, you are going to exclude it. So that's why I painstakingly went through to explain all these things. So, and also that's why during this thing I just say let's go to the exclusion first, because I don't want to waste my time going through the inclusion criteria, and at the end of the day I will now come down to the exclusion criteria and find that because of one exclusion reason that we are not going to include it. Another situation is where it doesn't meet your exclusion criteria and it doesn't meet your inclusion criteria. What do you think will happen?
It doesn't.
To be excluded now.
Yeah. So if it doesn't meet your inclusion criteria and it doesn't meet your exclusion criteria, you will exclude it because it doesn't meet none of your inclusion
None of
criteria.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the importance of having this inclusion and exclusion criteria. Okay, so going down to the outcomes. Let's look at the exclusion criteria for the was it no comparator? Thank you. No outcome. So no, we are looking at comparator, Bankole. We haven't checked. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. So the first exclusion criteria there is similar studies unrelated to malaria or TB. So no, because this one is related to malaria.
Okay.
Studies lacking a direct comparison to AI enhanced digital microscopy. So this study, does it have any comparison to AI enhanced digital microscopy? So we have to go back to their method, and check, was there any comparison to an AI enhanced digital microscopy? Sometimes I read the method section like more than 10 times, trying to find
Now, wow.
Don't be smart, you know.
Now, wow.
I didn't know that this is what we are entering.
Mr. Williams,
Victor,
you didn't
you
inform me
don't tell
about
me
this.
saying I so systematic review.
Wow.
Oh God. It's all right. And this is what we'll do for 100 works.
This is what we are going to do for the 124 articles.
Wow. That's
Mr. Williams,
that's why now I
stay
understand.
active.
Eh?
Stay active. Oh.
I am very active, very, very active. Now I understand why you are concentrating. You are looking for what to use to exclude the work.
Yeah.
Because the lesser the work, the lesser the stress. Whoa.
The performance evaluation.
Going through it again, the performance evaluation was conducted during a case control organized by this. And did you even mention you were going? I think somewhere you mentioned you were going to exclude case control studies, didn't you?
Case control.
In your eligibility criteria.
No, I don't think so.
Maybe I'm confusing your work with a different
No,
work
I'm
that
not.
I
It's
read.
not me. It's not me. Maybe it's
No,
all these
okay.
gamification people.
So it's gamification people. It's all right. But
Una
these
no
other
vex o.
group leaders, why are they not here? These people are funny.
Okay. So, in order not to spend so much time, at least we have an idea of what's going on. So, if you go through this method and if you go through reading the method and the objective of the work, if there is no clear evidence that this study actually compared this machine learning algorithm to an AI enhanced microscopy, if there is no comparison between them, that means we are going to exclude this work
Okay.
as long as it is there as our exclusion criteria. The only way we are not going to exclude it is if we take that particular exclusion criteria out and said, okay, don't worry, I've changed my mind. I don't want to exclude work based on this anymore. But if we still want to exclude works based on that exclusion criteria, that means because I don't think this particular work made any
There's a
comparison
comparison.
to
Yeah.
AI microscopy. But let's just still focus on this work. At least we've read through some of them that will save us time of getting a new work and start reading them again. So if you go back to the exclusion criteria again. But Bankole, you get what I say now, right?
Yes, I guess.
Okay.
So, but I want to ask, so this exclusion criteria, there is outcome exclusion criteria, population exclusion criteria, then comparison exclusion criteria. So you have to go through all these exclusion criteria, and if anyone doesn't meet up in one, the work will be excluded.
One, yeah. And once it doesn't meet any particular one, it will be excluded.
It will be excluded. Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot. Okay. But in this comparison now, this comparator, why is there a comparator?
So the comparator is there just like it's the name. You are there to compare something to something. For instance, you are telling somebody you are a pharmacist, you produce paracetamol, you are telling somebody that this paracetamol can cure their headache, and you want to prove it. You have to have a comparator. You have to maybe tell the person, have two people, one person with headache and two persons with headache, give one paracetamol and don't give one paracetamol.
Okay, now I get it.
So that one you didn't give is your comparator. Or maybe give this one paracetamol and give this other one a malaria medicine and check. So that comparator is there to actually allow nature to speak for itself, so that we know whether what you are saying, the intervention, whether it is effective or not.
Okay. It's all right.
So what's the second exclusion reason in the comparator? It says evaluation employing unvalidated or experimental approaches without standardized reference. So I think they are working with a standardized reference because they mentioned about calibration. So, and you can't do calibration without having a standardized reference for your calibration. Yeah. So that means they did not meet this one, which means if the other two exclusion criteria were not met, that means we are still keeping the work because we are not yet excluding it. Studies that compared AI against another AI tool exclusively without incorporating a conventional or reference standard comparator. So this one did not compare. Yeah. Sorry. You are saying you want to say which one?
We are not comparing in the article. They were not comparing two AI at all.
Yeah. So that means if we are following this exclusion criteria, we are going to eliminate the. No, what this one is actually saying. What this one is actually saying is because from this eligibility criteria, this exclusion criteria, it seems you are interested in comparing these microscopies to AI enhanced digital microscopy. So be it light, be it machine learning, be it whatever, you want to see a comparison with AI enhanced digital microscopy. So for the fact that it did not meet this second criteria, that means it will not automatically will not meet the fourth one.
Okay.
Also, even if it met the second criteria, that the study did a direct comparison to AI enhanced digital microscopy, but if the comparison is against another AI tool, there are different AI. You have Copilot, you have Meta, you have ChatGPT. So if the study compared one particular AI with another AI exclusively without having maybe a third comparator that may be maybe light or machine learning or any other thing, then that means the study will be excluded. But if it is comparing, let's say, Copilot versus Meta versus Light, we are not going to exclude them because it does not compare the AI tools exclusively. There is a third component which is not AI. Do you get the point?
I guess.
That's why we are. So here now it is now meeting that requirement that says it says without incorporating a conventional or reference standard comparator. So that third comparator now will be meeting or will be, let's say it is now incorporating a conventional or the reference standard comparator. So that being said, the last exclusion criteria for the comparators, studies where comparator data is missing or not reported. So if we go through the so here now we will leave the method section and go down to the result section and check if they actually reported the values for the comparator. Result section. I think this is still the methodology. I've been a result. I don't even know where we did. Can you scroll down?
I think there's
okay. Yeah, this is the result.
There's actually comparison because if you look at this now, they said this under evaluation.
Yeah. System performance were evaluated on the patient level based on accuracy, sensitivity, and specificity. Microscopy and PCR were used as reference standard. So this one are the reference standard that they use for the calibration.
Yes, because we are actually comparing either computer-aided microscopy to normal microscopy. So if they are using microscopy as reference, that means they are comparing it to microscopy indirectly.
Yes. What the reason why the only reason we've found to exclude this work are one, there was no direct comparison with AI, AI
Okay.
enhanced digital microscopy. So that's the only reason for exclusion.
Okay.
And another important thing is when you are doing the full text reading, any work you are excluding, you will write out the reason for exclusion. So you will have where you will say this number of articles were excluded because they did not, they met this exclusion criteria. So for example, for this one now, you now say no comparison with AI enhanced, no comparison with AI enhanced digital microscopy. You put equals to number of articles that met that exclusion criteria that you have excluded based on that reason. So unlike the title and abstract screening where you don't report the reason why you are excluding them, when you are doing your full test screening, you will be reporting your reasons for exclusion. It will be in the flow chart.
They actually compared it to, sir, if you read the results now, so if you read this, sir,
The results,
under this
number of
parasite
slide,
detection with
thickness.
malaria screener, P falciparum only.
Yeah, where do you say I should read?
This parasite detection with malaria screener, P falciparum only.
Bankola is still there.
Yeah, I'm still there. Can you hear me? Hello?
Can you
Hello?
hear me? Can you hear me, Bankola?
I can hear you. I can hear you,
Like
sir.
saying network the get issue.
Okay. You said I should
Read the
parasite
parasite detection
detection.
with malaria screener.
Malaria screener achieved 74.1%, 95% confidence interval range of 63.5 to 83.0 in detecting P. falciparum malaria through thick smears. It correctly saw whether malaria is present in 63. The results met the WHO level 3 criterion, parasite detection criterion. So this is just what are you trying to say? Because can't find.
So I'm trying to say that these standards, they were generated based on confessional, well,
The standardized values, right?
yes.
Which one are you talking about? Is it this exclusion criteria for the outcome, or are, are we still looking at the comparators?
The comparators.
Oh, that last exclusion criteria for for the comparators that says
Yes,
that
they
it
ask
must
for
report.
data that is comparing, data relating to
Okay, yeah,
comparison. So now this is
yeah. So this, yeah,
these are the
yeah.
data.
So yeah, so this one met that particular, like it did not meet that exclusion criteria. It did not tick that box. So if every other, if it has not ticked any of the other exclusion criteria, that means it will still be included
Okay, sir.
because it's reported on the comparator. Okay, so if we go back to the uh, eligibility criteria again.
This last part. So are you still there? Hello?
Yeah. I can hear you. Maybe his network is worrying. Hello,
Your
Banks.
own too. Was there outcome in your work?
Is it?
I'm seeing something like study design here.
Is that just this comparative? Eh?
You know the last part of the PICO framework is supposed to be outcome.
Yeah, outcome. There's outcome now.
No, there's no outcome here. I
Sorry, I
think this
went to
was the
get a
direction
drink.
by Prospero. Yes.
Okay, welcome.
Thank you. So are we on the outcomes? So similar studies. So we've talked about studies where comparator
This is the
design are
outcome.
missing. Yeah. So on the outcome for the reasons for exclusion, case report. Yeah, I know I saw case report.
They
Okay,
said
that
less
one is
than
not
10.
case report.
Now it's not report
That
now,
one
it's case study.
is case control, it's not a case report.
Yes.
Case report or case series with less than 10 participants. Okay. Editorials, comment, letters, narrative reviews, opinion articles without primary data, conference abstract, posters without enough methodology or outcome data, studies used. Sorry, I'm not getting the studies use simulated. Studies using stimulated or silicon database entirely without patient-derived samples. Studies where the AI intervention is not utilized for digital microscopy. Okay, so the setting.
Yes.
What do we have on that setting?
Sir?
What do we have on that setting? Because
Settings like
I don't think it did not meet any of these exclusion criteria.
yes.
Uh, it says study where AI intervention is not utilized for digital microscopy. So it met that last one.
Okay.
Because in that study, AI intervention was not utilized.
Should I change it to AI or computer aided?
Yeah?
Because, sir, can you hear me?
Yeah.
So all these ones that is only AI because that's the problem. Should I change it to
So
AI or computer aided
exactly.
intervention?
So that's what you will now. It's either you make it AI or just for you not to exclude them.
Yes.
Because these are what if you want to publish the work, the what are they called again? There are just the way uh, systematic review is carried out. There are people that will go through your work. These are some of the things that they will pick out. They will be like, you said you were going to exclude these articles, so why did you end up including them? So I think maybe just change all those things to AI or just to keep the work.
Okay.
Okay, so the settings, clinical clinical laboratories and hospital, health center, community-based research, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So that's it. So if you check for the, let's go back, I think under the settings, did they even mention where those sites were? Was in the
They
lab
said
in
it
the
was in
university, right?
Sudan. I think the test was in Sudan.
In a university lab, right?
Yes, I guess.
Yeah, I think it was mentioning one university name like that. Yeah,
University of
University of,
Khartoum, Sudan.
yeah. So these two primary hospitals. So we know it is a hospital-based setting in Sudan. And those hospitals
Patients
were,
were recruited from two primary hospitals in Sudan. Okay.
so okay, so that means it met the inclusion criteria for the setting.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let's go up again because we didn't look at the inclusion criteria for the study design. The study design.
Okay.
So one of the inclusion criteria, diagnostic accuracy study, evaluating AI digital. So here now you still need to put it AI or
This putting this on now, won't it affect the topic?
Affect what?
The topic of the work.
No. I think the topic is
AI enhanced digital microscopy.
Microscopy.
I think computer, or should I change it to computer aided topic?
Yeah, so that
computer
would be
aided
the
can
next thing.
include both.
Yeah, computer
AI.
aided can include both AI and, because if you do it AI, that means we are
generalizing, you are specifying it rather.
Yeah, we are specifying it strictly to, that's why these eligibility criteria, we are excluding some of those works.
Okay.
But if you are actually interested in just pure AI, you can just leave it at AI enhanced. But if your interest is both AI and other computer,
I will have to review all the articles depending on the level of.
We can't hear you again, Bankole.
Your voice
Hello?
is faint. Okay,
Hello,
yeah,
can you hear
better
me?
now. Yeah,
No,
better.
I said depending on, I will have to review all the articles first. So depending on the level of
Depending on
outcome.
the number of,
Yes. So that
I think I saw some AI related works. So I think
they are, but I don't know if they are much. That's it.
the lesser the better now. Can't you see what we are going?
Wait now, I can always edit
better.
it.
Do you want to review 500 works?
No, now calm down now.
so
As we have like 10 or 15 works, it's better.
The good thing is that if you have with just 3 articles, you can still carry out a systematic review. I don't.
No need now.
You don't know before.
I did not know. I think I need like at least 50 so that I can have enough information.
But Bankole, don't mind William. It's good to follow the right path. It's good to do the right thing. Don't cut corners.
Bankole, no problem. We are together.
We got that day now.
Okay. So, case studies, case reports, or case. No, let's go up. I think this is the exclusion. Let's go into the inclusion criteria for the Study design, yeah, that's so we are including cross-sectional cohorts or case control studies. So assessing AI-based mere reading compared with, so here now you can, that place you have just AI-based, you can also put AI or computer-aided digital microscopy compared to conventional microscopy or reference studies. So if you look at the second inclusion criteria, it met it because the study was a case control study. The third one, prospective or retrospective research involving. The fourth one, intervention studies where AI assisted or computer aided digital was applied in a clinical laboratory procedure. So it met the fifth. Is that the fifth or the fourth? The fourth inclusion criteria. So as long as he meets just one of the inclusion criteria, I'm not even bothered about going through the rest. But my major concern is let it not meet any of the exclusion criteria. Because once it does, that means it's going to be eliminated for that reason. Okay, so this is what you will do for the whole full text reading. You will screen them against these eligibility criteria. So after the full text screening, any of the studies that have passed, meaning that none of them met the exclusion criteria and all of them at least met at least one of the inclusion criteria for each of the section. You know, here now we have the population, the intervention, the comparator. So even if a study did not meet any of the exclusion criteria for the whole PICO framework, but met only one inclusion criteria just for the population, but did not meet any inclusion criteria for any of the other PICO framework, that is the intervention or the comparator or the outcome or the settings, it means you are still going to exclude that work because it did not meet the inclusion criteria for the other one. So it must meet at least one of the inclusion criteria for the PICO frameworks. Did you get the point?
Yeah, I do.
Williams, what did you say?
I say yes, I do. I do.
Okay. So now, when we now have the number of articles that met our eligibility criteria, they will now move. Those are the number of articles that we are going to use for the systematic review proper. So, Bankole, what I need you to do is just, if you go to Google, search, what was it called? Prisma flow diagram or Prisma flow chart.
Waiting.
Prisma. You know the guideline for writing systematic review. No, PRI, preferred reporting item. Just the PRI, preferred reporting item for systematic review. SMA. Remove the L.
Okay, Prisma.
Yeah. Prisma flow diagram. That is it. Click on one of the images. So all this time I've been mentioning flowcharts. This is what I mean. You can remember in that other study, there was a flowchart. So just from the name, a flowchart is just something to show you what have happened in a kind of a quick summary of what have happened. So on this flowchart, at the top, you see where it talks about identification of studies via databases and registers. Then on the side, you have identification, screening included. So identification is at the stage of identification, that is stage of database searching. The screening is what you did during screening. Included is telling the number of actual studies that now you are now finally including in the systematic review. Remember, all the whole thing we have been doing is we are trying to find the correct articles to carry out our systematic review. That's what we've been doing since. So under the identification, you have a box that where you explain the record of identified data. So remember, I think I didn't even mention this earlier. In systematic reviews, you don't just get data from databases alone. So in your work, you can say that you want to check different registers, maybe WHO register, a register where they record intervention protocols, a register where they record systematic review protocols, because those, for example, you can't find all the articles on Prospero register. You can't find them in any other database because they are protocols, they are not full articles themselves. The only time you find them is when it publishes it. Also, there are what are called white papers. White papers are like how is it explained again? I've forgot something about undocumented, unpublished works. Like these are articles that are there, but they are not yet published. Maybe they are in, let's say, in a particular website, or even just laying down in a particular library. So there are different ways of gathering data when you are doing your searches. So what I forgot, when you are writing this thing, you will say whether you focused only on just databases and that you didn't search any register. If you searched any register, you will tell them the register you searched and the number of works you got from there. So in our own work now, in our own flowchart, we are not going to have register because we did not search any register. So what we have is database. We will now put the number of articles we got from all the databases that we searched before the deduplication. So like a total number of the articles we got from PubMed, Science Direct, Cochrane, PsycInfo, Ovid, everything put together. The number maybe 1,500 and something. Then the other box on the side, we will now give a breakdown of record that were removed before screening. So that's where we now put the number of articles that were removed because they were duplicates. So by the time you do your deduplication so this is where that systematic review accelerator, some of the things it will help you do. By the time you upload into your library the different citations from the different databases, we see the total number of articles you have in that particular file before you even do your deduplication. So that number, you will record it in this flowchart. When you are done with your deduplication, you will see the number of articles, that's the number of record that you are going to screen. You will enter it in under this record screened. Then from that record on a systematic review rate, it will also give you the number of duplicates that were removed. So you will now put that number under duplicates record removed. Then record marked as ineligible. So if there are any articles that you felt you couldn't go through, because some of the articles that you may find when you try to do the duplication, when you try to screen, there are records that you may not find some of the let's say on that record you didn't find the abstract, and then you went online, maybe go to PubMed or whichever database and checked, and you notice, I don't know if there are some articles that you can't even find their abstract. I don't know if anybody have noticed that, like online, if you check PubMed, it just gives you that title, no abstract. Go to Google Scholar, just their title, no abstract. And if you want to exclude them just because for that reason, this place where it says record removed for other reasons, you put record with no abstract, put the number of articles you removed because they didn't have abstract. So remember, these records, they are not duplicate. They didn't fall into the number that were removed because they are duplicates. They fall in because when you've already added them to the record you want to screen, but during the screening you now discover that this article don't have abstract, so you put the number there. So what I'm trying to say, this flowchart is a work in progress. You will find yourself changing these values from time to time, but at the end of the day you want to be sure that the calculations are correct. So by time, let's say, for instance, let's just work with a number. From your database searches, you have 10 articles. You did your deduplication. You have 2 articles as duplicate. So that means at the end of the day, you will have 8 articles to screen. When you are now screening these 8 articles, one of the articles didn't have an abstract. So because of this reason, you don't want to stress yourself. You want to exclude it because you can't find the abstract. Now you put your reason for removal, no record with no abstract. 1, where you've written 8 before, you will now change that 8 to 7. I don't know if you're getting the point, because if you still leave it as 8 and still put 1 the other side, what it means, like the whole number will be different. It will mean that you have 1 extra study that you can't account for. I don't know if I'm making sense.
Yeah, you are.
Okay. So then under the screening, the one that says record marked as ineligible by automation 2. So there are different automation. This systematic review accelerator is an example of an automation 2, which help you to make the whole screening and everything easy. There is what's it called again? RevMan. I think RevMan is also an automation. There are so many automation tools that make doing systematic review very easy. So for this one now, if some of those record and any citation was marked as being ineligible by any of these automation tools. That means you don't have access to them, you can't screen them, you can't do anything. You put the numbers there and then also update the record of the number of articles you are screening. Then under the screening, if you look, you have record excluded. This is assuming you have done your screening. Record excluded. For me, I think this is after your title screening. After your title screening, or probably title and abstract screening, you record the number of articles you excluded. So from your systematic review accelerator, Bankoleda will be 1,000 and I can't remember the number again. But that place you have, so that will be the number there. Then the report sought for retrieval. So this report sought for retrieval are the articles that, like for example, that 121 we want to retrieve, we want to download and read their full text. You will put the number that's 121 articles were sought for retrieval. Then at the end of the day, the actual number of record you were able to retrieve and assess for eligibility. So out of it, will surprise you, out of that 124, maybe we were unable to get 4 or let's say even 20 articles. So at the end of the day, we only assessed 104 articles and we were not able to retrieve 20 articles. This is another important information I missed out. When you've identified an article, and so among these 20 articles that you want to retrieve, what you can do is you have to pay for them. But if you feel you don't have the money to pay for them, you can exclude them based on reasons that you can't retrieve them. Another reason for exclusion, after you must have retrieved an article. For example, that your exclusion criteria that says if the result of the comparator is not reported, that you are going to exclude them. Before you exclude that article based on that reason, you will email the author, the lead author of the work, and request to have the data if they have the data somewhere else. So if the author replies you and tell you, sorry, we don't have this data, then you will go ahead and exclude that article based on there is a missing data for that. But if the author replies you and gives you the data, you will include that particular article because you now have the data. You don't have any other reason to exclude it. In a situation whereby the author did not even reply you, because this one have happened to me so many times for whatever reason. Maybe there was one I emailed and at the end of the day I found out that the author was even dead. The articles was written long ago. So for whatever reason, the guideline says you should email the author, I think about 2 or 3 times. If you don't get any reply, then you can go ahead and exclude that particular article based on that reason. So here is where I say you give your reasons for exclusion for each of the articles you've done the full text screening. Anyone that you want to exclude, you must provide the reason for doing that and give the number of articles you excluded based on that reason. that will now lead you to having the final number of studies you are going to include in your review, in the systematic review. So that's where it says studies included in review. You give the number. So for this particular flow chart, they did not report on all of the included study. For instance, let's say at the end of the day, they included 5 studies, but then out of that 5 studies, they only reported on 2 studies. That's why they have these different 2 options in the box. But in most cases, you will see different things with different authors, and for whatever reason, some authors will tell you number of studies included in systematic review. They will give you 5, and then out of that 5, they will come down and tell you number of studies included in meta-analysis. Maybe among those 5 studies included, only 3 were eligible to go into meta-analysis. They will now put 3. Some will just tell you number of articles included in systematic review and just end it there. So that is it about the flowchart. I don't know if you have any questions.
Okay, thank you so much. I don't think I have for now. Let's commence the abstract, the full text reading. So this full text reading, once we start it, any work we exclude, we're gonna remove it from that accelerator, right? And put it in excluded, right?
You don't have to remove it from the accelerator again. Because remember, you are downloading them.
Okay.
Because throughout the rest of the systematic review, you will find yourself going back to each of those articles at each stage.
Okay.
So you don't want them to be online. You don't want to be going back online searching for them.
Okay.
You want to
So,
yeah.
So how do we now separate the ones that actually pass after doing our proofreading from the ones that we use systematic accelerator for?
So what I personally do is, when I download the whole, because before I start doing the full text, I will download you. If after doing the full text screening, if you pass, I usually open 2 folders on my create 2 folders on my laptop, one for included articles and one for excluded articles. So any article that I've completed the full text, if you pass, I'll put you in the included articles folder. Anyone I exclude, I'll put, so there it will be easy for me to go back if I was not writing down the reason for exclusion initially. So I can go back to the excluded and try and figure out what was the reason. Why did I exclude this particular work? I will go through it again and find that reason and use it and complete my flowchart. Because once you reach that full text stage, you will find yourself going back and forth to each of those articles until you've completed this flowchart. Once you are done with this flowchart, then you will focus more on the included studies. Any other people?
Thank you, sir.
Okay. So I think, how many hours have we spent? Bankole, can you see the number of hours from the recording?
Let me check down.
Okay. Don't worry if you can't see it. I think the next thing we are going to talk about is the next stage will be data extraction. That was what we are supposed to even talk about, but I think because we didn't record the last class,
we've used almost 3 hours.
Okay, we'll end it here. So for those that missed the last class on screening and everything, this is more like a catch-up, and more details, information on how to carry that one out. In our next class, we'll look at data extraction. So now that we finally have the number of articles that meet our eligibility criteria that we want to include in the systematic review, what is the next stage? That's where our data extraction, where we do the data extraction, get all the information we need for us to be able. Remember, the whole aim is for you to synthesize evidence to answer your review question. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much. I really appreciate.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your time. We really appreciate, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks.
Okay.
Thanks for listening.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
Bankole, hope you recorded this thing. No tell me stories.
Man, now it is make I do now. My God.
Okay. Okay. Better